second day, the peon came running to me and he said, Madam is calling you. So I went back to Madam Principal. And Madam Principal told me, what is the thing you mentioned that day? You're talking about? I said, ma'am, Damsharaj. Okay, tomorrow at 10 o'clock, you please organize Damsharaj in lecture room 2. So when we went next day to lecture room 2, there were 11 teams and a jam-packed audience, and they are all waiting for a Damsharaj competition. We had great fun, lot of laughter, lot of applause, and along with the Damsharaj, my popularity rating also started rising. One thing led to another. By the time I was in the third year, I was the president of everything in my college. And I was on cloud 9. I was walking down the corridor when the principal passed me and then he called me and said, okay, you are the most popular man in this college, I see. Then he said, you know what? The day I became principal here, on that day I fulfilled my dream of becoming principal, but that was also the day on which my work as the principal started. You have become a leader today. You have fulfilled a dream of becoming president, but your job has not finished by becoming president. Now you have to do something. And can you do something good for this college? I said, yes, sir. He said, just look how dirty they have made this college during the elections. Can you do something about that? I said, yes, sir. I went to the students' union and I got the cleaning of the college organized. People were very happy that the college is now looking spick and span. Thereafter, I went on to organize a good festival. We had some quiz competitions and various successful events. I thought that I had arrived as a leader, especially because the principal called me one day and gave me 100 rupees and said, okay, you can go and treat your friends somewhere. So I took 50 people to Chanakya Theatre. That time the front row used to cost 2 rupees. I had 150 of us sat and watched a Mithun Chakravarti thriller in which he was dancing like this. We had good fun. I thought I had arrived as a leader, but Providence had something else for me. I wanted to join the army. I appeared for the exam. I went for the SSB at SSB Bhopal. Result? Rejected. I appeared for the exam once again. Now went for SSB to SSB Allahabad. Result? Rejected. So I decided that something is wrong with me and I need counseling. I went to the university counselor in Delhi University, whose office is above the India Coffee House. I went to her and told her, ma'am, this is my story. I want you to help me. And she said, look, I am not giving you the answers to any of these psychological tests. I told, ma'am, I didn't ask you for answers. I asked you to please help me. She said, that's fine, but I don't have time today. So I went downstairs, I had some coffee, had some sandwiches, took the bus back home, came back the next day. And once again, she told me, I don't have time today. I did the same thing. I went down, had coffee, had sandwiches, took the bus home, came back the next day. And I did this routine for the next 1.5 weeks until one day she called me inside. She took a test and told me, look, you have a lot of talent, but you don't have leadership traits. And here I was thinking I had become a great leader in college. I told her, ma'am, I want to join the army. I need you to help me. So I worked with her for the next 6 months. And after that, when I went for SSB for the third time to SSB Bangalore, the moment I went and stood there, I immediately knew that this time I am selected because something in me had changed. And the entire audience was forming up on me. I joined the army and then I served in a lot of leadership positions in various levels, leading various types of people. I'll recall 1 or 2 instances for you. I went to Kashmir and from day one, routine was the same. We would gobble down our dinner and then at a certain point of time at night, there'll be bang, bang, and there will be 2 missiles which would have landed and then from our side, from their side. A lot of ruckus would carry on for half an hour and then quiet, we would all go to sleep. Second day also the same thing happened. Third day the same thing happened. And the moment it went bang, bang, somebody came and opened my door and said, Saab, Jawans are waiting for you to give instructions. I told him, David, it's the same old routine thing. Why do you want me to go out? There is no requirement. They'll do what they have to do. He said, no, sir. They may be routine instructions, but it doesn't matter. Routine instructions are called routine because they have to be routinely delivered. They are as important as any other instruction. So I went out and I told them, okay, this LMG, move it from here to there. That machine gun, move it from here to there. I walked around the course, came back and started watching the movie once again. But I learned a very important lesson. Routine instructions are as important for a leader as any other inspirational instructions. After all, remember Oscar Wilde had said that genius is 99% perspiration and 1% inspiration, and leadership is something like that. 99% perspiration and only 1% inspiration. Another incident, I was in Faridkot cantonment. I was commanding a unit there. One day in the evening, me and my wife were taking a stroll and pushing a pram on which our little daughter was lying down. When we came across some ladies from another unit, one of them turned to me and said, Colonel Ray, has the inspection program of your unit changed? I said, no, it is tomorrow. She said, what? Your inspection program is tomorrow and you're roaming around coolly outside. I said, I have nothing to do. I have already passed my instructions. People are there. They have got their responsibilities. I've delegated them. They're doing it. No guesses here. Obviously, the inspection was very good. I had delegated responsibilities. That is the best thing a leader could do. The army is a great place to learn, ladies and gentlemen. And I today, from my stories and from the little anecdotes in college and army, I would like you to take back 4 important lessons. Number 1, leadership starts when you become a leader, when you attain that position of authority. That is when your leadership starts. You have to do something. Secondly, there is always scope for you to learn and relearn. Remember, I relearned the job of a leader after I went to Miss Agarwal at that counseling center before I got through in the services selection board. Thirdly, routine acts are as important as the once in a while flashes of inspiration. Routine acts are what sustain leadership. And fourthly, delegate authority. And that is the backbone of all leadership. You delegate authority, and once you have delegated authority, then you trust that man to deliver, and you can be sure that he's going to deliver. And if I were to sum up my entire leadership journey, I'll borrow a quote from Winston Churchill, who said that mountaintops inspire leaders, but it is the valleys which mature them. Thank you very much. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Wow, what an incredible speech on leadership. I really got excited when I found out you were going to be one of the speakers. I knew you'd do a good job. Timer, could you give us 1 minute to send our feedbacks to Toastmaster PK Ray? Okay, time's up. Anyone else who wants to send feedback, send it to him privately. Now that I mentioned winter, do you guys want to cover yourself in blankets and drink some hot chocolate or coffee? Maybe I'll do that soon after the meeting, getting something hot to drink. Now, please help me welcome our second speaker, Toastmaster Sanel Kripnani. Sorry, I pronounced your name wrong. Who'll be evaluated, my dear, wonderful friend, Toastmaster Shubhan Gupta, please explain your target speaker's objectives.
Thank you, Toastmasters Seal. Good evening, all. So, Toastmasters Sunil sir is attempting his level 1 of presentation mastery path, and the project is his second attempt from evaluation and feedback module, wherein his speech has already been given before, and now he is using those feedback to deliver the speech again and implement those feedback. The title of his speech is My Journey in Indian Oil, and he's being mentored by double DTM Chen Path. I repeat, the purpose of his project is to present a speech on any topic, receive feedback, and apply feedback to the second speech. Timer, please note the duration of his speech is 5 to 7 minutes. All the best to Toastmaster Sunil. Toastmaster Sunil? The stage is all yours.
Toastmaster Sunil, the screen is yours.
Thank you. Good evening, my fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. I really want to thank each one of you. This stage, this opportunity for making me travel back to youthful days and relive my trailblazer journey once again. Yesterday, I often found myself sifting through years, wandering off, turning back those pages, some faded, some fresh as a day. As I sat down and put pen to paper to project my journey in this prestigious organization. It's the major milestones, the days of struggle, the anniversaries, the promotions, the extreme highs, and the extreme lows that I can recollect to the best of my memory. The rest, as they say, was routine. I stepped foot in this organization as a technician in workman category. And on a sunny day in May 1993, it was hot and humid in Mathura, but that didn't hamper any spirited self, as I was eager to learn and even more eager to impress. If I am being honest, I took to the job as a duck to the water. I found my things. However, I couldn't picture myself spending then a couple of years working for Indian Oil. On the same evenings, even a hard day's work, I would sit down and let the cool breeze feel on my face. I would close my eyes and I could see thousands of kilometers away, all the way to Mumbai, the finance capital, the city where I had left my family behind, my mom, my brother, my wife, and my 3-month-old daughter. It was the support from all my family members that gave me the strength to continue working, even if it was at the expense of staying away from them. Many colleagues advised me to quit the job and go back to my family, and similarly many colleagues projected just how much I can rise further if I stay in this organization. If I have hunger for it, I, along with my wife, listen to the latter, and today my chest grows 2 inches whenever I read the title of Chief Manager before my name. However, it's not always been smooth sailing. As they see, Smooth sailors, smooth seas never make good sailors. Some days were good and some days were not so good. I gave all my both on those days. Although one day in particular demanded more than just my all, a technical glitch, a hurdle in the field required me and my boss to go beyond the way and underline the problem. On our way to the site, we were met with heavy downpour, and before we knew it, we were surrounded with knee-deep waters. The road were clogged, and our vehicle was jammed, and all around the water, surrounded by water. I had to get down from a vehicle, and I had to walk all through around 3 kilometers, all the depth, this much depth of water. I, not knowing how to swim, abandoned the vehicle and set the journey on foot. The water level kept rising, and at point it was this much of depth. The task at hand was completed the same evening. However, we could not make the journey back to our home as the streets were full of water when we traveled in the reverse direction. I spent the night in the vehicle. My dinner for that evening was that leftover mango seed I had the same afternoon, scraping bits and pieces of pulp from the seed. I had a sudden realization of just how much I was capable of. Looking back, I can say I started the day as a young boy, and by sundown, I had turned into a responsible man. I completed my graduation in correspondence and was later recognized by Indian Oil as an officer. It still remains one of the proudest moments of my work life. One accomplishment preceded another, and it is with heart full of gratitude and pride that I think of the opportune day I got to enroll myself to serve the Indian Army. Having worked my way up from the lowest of the ranks of Naib Subedar till today, I am the Lieutenant Colonel. Indian Oil has played an integral part in shaping me to be the person I am today. And I like to believe that I have played an equally important part in making all the stations I have worked in making them as effective as best as I could, as per my abilities. Come May next year, I will have completed 29 years of service, 29 years, 29 chapters, each unique and electrifying in its own way. And I look forward to turning the oncoming pages and see what the future holds for me. What do you say, Toastmaster of the day?
Yes, we are looking forward to the future. I'm sure it will be very great. I wish you the very best luck. We all believe in you, right, guys? Simon, please give us 1 minute to send our feedback to Toastmaster Sunil. I'm sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. Thank you. Time's up. You can send the rest of the feedback to him privately later. I'll never forget how many times my mom would tell me back when we used to live in Kuwait, be careful. In January it's gonna be super cold. And she was right. That's in Kuwait. I have no idea if the same's gonna be here in Cairo. But still, I still feel the chills, so there's no telling what's gonna happen. But we brought along with us heaters, and we'll be drinking nice warm drinks and tucking ourselves in, watching a nice movie if we had the time. I would say let's vote for the best speaker, but I heard that right timer, you said that one of them is disqualified, right?
Yes.
So we won't be having the vote for the best speakers, but I know they both did a very good job. So I say they are both the winners. Let's prepare to certificate for both of them. Now let us start off with our next segment where everyone can participate, even the guests. Help me welcome the table topic master who will take over the table topic segment, Toastmaster Hassan. I'm sorry if I pronounced your name wrong.
No problem, Toastmaster Asil, and thank you so much for that warm welcome. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. I will be playing the role of the Table Topics Master. As they say, we won't get. We can say that we usually do not get a lot of opportunities to deliver uh, impromptu speeches. So here we are with the table topic segment, the impromptu speaking segment, wherein all the guests and the fellow Toastmasters are welcome to participate. You will be handed over a random topic. And today I have chosen a theme, a wonderful theme that is based on the 90s. My experiences that I have been able to put in a presentation today. So I'll be just sharing my screen, and I would request the first speaker, a Toastmaster, who can come up and show everyone as to how we can proceed with the table topic segment. So I'll encourage maybe a raise of hands from the audience members. Can you see my slide? Or if no one comes on their own, so we have Toastmaster Chintan raising his hand. Thank you, Toastmaster Chintan. So we have 10 topics today, and I would urge you to choose one number, and there will be a topic behind that. Not a topic, but a image behind that.
The first one.
Okay, the first one. So this is an image of, you can say, the kulfi wala or the ice cream vendors, ice cream parlor, who used to come to our home and you can say give ice creams. So if you could just speak on this, maybe share your experience. How has your experience been, if you can relate to the same?
I used to go to government school in my childhood. And during those time, whenever we used to have recess, we call it recess because that was the gap between the periods. And we rushed out of the school to buy one of those cola candies. And my favorite one was the orange one, which is rightly depicted in the picture. And there were times when the candiwala used to say that we do not have the orange one left. And I remember vividly that I used to walk for 5 to 10 minutes to reach to another candy guy to get the orange candy. It used to cost only 2 rupees at that time, but the happiness and the flavor and the taste which it gave used to make me forget all the pain we used to have in this school, all the boring lectures we used to have in this school, because I used to be a backbencher, and few of you might relate to what I am saying. And those are great people. The people who sell candies, they are selfless. They see the smile on the child and sometimes they used to offer one extra candy as well. So I used to laugh a lot and smile a lot to the person who sells the candy. And I used to get multiple candies like that. I got the trick and I applied it at multiple places. And along with the candy, what I like to savor, the friendship, the people who were there with me in the school. We used to stay together and we used to have only 10 minutes to complete the candy and reach to the classroom back. So it is like gulping the candy in a so hurry and so fast manner so that we can reach to the class back again and sit there for another period and again go to the candy man to enjoy the candy. What's your memory with the candy, table topic master? Over to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Chintan, for that, you can say, relatable incident that you shared. So usually during my childhood, I always had a sweet tooth, always inclined towards sweets and ice creams. And you sharing this just reminds me as to how my parents used to restrict me, say a big no to any sort of sweet thing, because they ingrained this thing in my mind that eating a lot of sweets, that's true as well, is not very healthy for ourselves. Moving on, we have the second. Let's see if anyone has volunteered. If anyone wants to go up, they can proceed and take up another topic. We are done with number 1, and we are left with 9 other topics. So do we have any raise of hands? Okay. So I also have the ultimate power to call anyone, being the table topics master. So we have a raise of hand. Toastmaster Tripti has raised his hand. So Toastmaster Tripti, which number would you like to pick? Tripti, you're not audible.
Number
3. All right. So Tripti, this is a scene usually wherein when cable TV came into our lives, we used to struggle to get a connection. So that's where this picture has been inspired from. So if you could just share some light or some experience as to how you can relate to this picture. Over to you.
Thank you so much, table topic master of the day. As I always say, that the generation who has experienced, wherein Toastmaster Chintan was talking about, wherein they used to get candies for ₹2. I guess our generation was the one who was served everything on the platter. We had the privilege to go to those ice cream parlors, but yet again, I still feel somehow that, those cravings had to be there. And similarly, I guess TV was a big medium. We have everything, OTT and probably the digital mediums. But I guess this scenario is a own struggle and it has its own essence. My parents oftenly, discuss it with me. They tell me their childhood stories wherein the entire neighborhood used to have just one television and they're just pleasing their friends to go through their place every Sunday to probably watch the most popular movies and serials which are being telecasted. But yet again, our generation is someone who misses all these essence. I truly feel that because we have been getting everything at just one click, we fail to realize the essence of all these things and probably somewhere or the other take our privileges for granted. That's all I would like to say. Thank you so much.
Wow, Toastmaster Tripti, I was not expecting such a deep meaning from a topic. Yeah, so we are definitely, this generation is gifted with a lot of comforts. That's true. Moving on to our next speaker, the third speaker, we are done with number 1 and 3. If I can have any raise of hands from the audience members. Does anyone want to maybe challenge their impromptu speaking skills? Let's see, we have another raise of hand. Okay, by Toastmaster Ray. Toastmaster Ray, are you trying to raise your hand? Okay, Toastmaster Shivali has raised her hand, yes. Thank you, Toastmaster Shivali. Please, I would urge you to pick a number.
I'd like to go in for 7, please.
Sure. So this is Toastmaster Shefali, a game, if you can relate, we used to play. We called it 7 times. So you can relate it to any particular game that you played initially in your childhood days. Over to you.
You have taken me back to my childhood. 7 Childs is the name. And I used to get back from my school at about those days. I was in school in Dehradun, so that was the British time, and we used to attend school from 7 to 1:30. And I used to get back home, and the first thing we used to do is collect outside in a ground, and we used to carry the stones and the tiles which we played with. We didn't have a choice of collecting the tiles all over again, because now I realize we always thought that it would be a waste of time. So we would all take the flattest stones which we had to pile them up. And in those days, this was called, I don't know what it's called now. It used to be called a rubber ball. So we all had that very bad looking red colored ball, which used to carry very proudly. And believe me, we didn't have the best of sports shoes. We didn't have any attire. We used to just come back from school, dump our bags, eat our lunch, and just run to the ground to play 7 tiles. Now, the 7 tiles was that we had to kind of, as many tiles that we could throw and break, and then run after the person to hit the person with a ball. So the only thing which I can relate is today is all of you who working in cooperates, that is what you're doing in your lives. And maybe those 7 tiles are your never ending targets. You hit the target and then you run after people who've completed it. Maybe it's your boss, you want to kill your boss, or maybe it's your subordinate who's run after you, gone ahead of you. So basically, it's just a small game which we played during childhood has taken over our lives, and all of you are just doing 7 tiles. I've grown old and I played it during childhood, so I'm not in the competition. But I'm sure many of you over here are still playing 7 tiles in your life. My only suggestion and recommendation would be take it to the ground. It's much more fun. Don't play it in your life. Thank you. Over to the table topic master, Toastmaster Mohan. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Shefali. Yeah, I can definitely relate to the second part as well. Being in the corporate front, even if we achieve certain targets, the targets are increased the next quarter or be the next month. So yeah, so moving on to our fourth speaker for the meeting today. Let's see if we have any raise of hands. Toastmaster Ray. Toastmaster Ray has raised his physical hand. So Toastmaster Ray, I would urge you to choose a number.
Okay, I'll go with number 8.
Number 8 it is. So Toastmaster Ray, today's kids will never know the strength I also initially needed to get the car window down. So if you could share some, this is maybe relating to some, yeah, you can say getting the comfort as Toastmaster Tripti mentioned, but maybe some relatable example from your end. Over to you, Toastmaster Ray.
So this is a crank handle, and whenever I see a handle like this nowadays, it takes me to a small restaurant called Rainbow, where all of us in the colony gather to have coffee in the evening, and there is a meat shop next door. And sure enough, in the middle of our coffee, eating and drinking and chatting, we'll hear that grating sound of this crank being driven. And you know what this grating sound is all about? This guy is cranking and bringing his shutters down. It is time for him to close shop. And it has got that terrible frequency which hurts your ears. But you're right. The crank is not just for bringing shutters down. As it looks out here, the crank is for the window of car. Nowadays, we are used very much to pressing a button and getting the window down. In fact, nowadays, when I go to work out here, I'm in Chhattisgarh nowadays, when I go to work, they send me a vehicle. I find that this button is not even in my control. It is there with the control of the driver. So when I open the door, the first thing I tell him is move the seat in front and bring the window down. Because it's just a 5 minutes ride to the office and I do not want the AC switched on for 5 minutes. So cranking something up and down can be done anywhere and everywhere. You can crank the level of anything you want up and crank the level of anything you want down, depending on what outcome you're looking for. And that you can do with your mental faculties also. When you look at something, you give it a stature. If you give it a high stature, you'll be cranking that thing up. If you give it a low stature, you'll be cranking that thing down. If you're angry and you keep lifting the anger up, you'll be cranking up your anger. Okay. Whereas if you're smiling and you give your smile a little bit of a crank and get your smile to broaden and you get a huge grin on your face, then what will happen is that you will bring all your anger and negativity down. So cranking up and down is something which is there. It is our option. Most of the time there may be a remote to it, but it doesn't matter. There is always a physical crank which you can use and you can sort out the problems in your life. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ray. I feel the takeaway for me here was something else. So whenever I am angry, or we can say maybe I have a chip on my shoulder over someone else, I can maybe take a moment just to calm myself and then proceed. So thank you so much for that. And moving on to the fifth speaker for today, we have, I think I can call everyone one by one today. So we are left with Toastmaster Manoj and Toastmaster Shubham, Toastmaster Asil. Anyone of you wants to go for the next topic? Toastmaster Faisal as well.
I
Toastmaster
would
Manoj.
love to go if someone can time me.
Sure. So Toastmaster Manoj, we can have you first, and then I'll call Toastmaster Faisal, if that's fine, Toastmaster Faisal. So Toastmaster Manoj, I would request you to pick one number out of the numbers that are left.
5.
Okay. So Toastmaster Manoj, this is an image of how I can say a relic of a time gone by wherein we had these cassettes, wherein we used to do these stuffs as well, just to maybe playing with these things, if you can relate, and if you could just share some relatable example. Over to you.
Thank you, table topic masters. This that is called, I think, a CD. Yes, sir. Tape recorder in earlier is like maybe on 2000, before 2000, 2020. I mean 2000 tape pal. I mean before 2000 years, maybe this CD will be everyone have this CD or tape recorders. Then maybe any marriage or any functions in a village or anywhere, then that time CD cassette is there. So all songs have recorded in that CD, and then any functions whenever organized or happens, then that time so that the songs will I mean what to say, I some people listen that songs to in a tape. Okay, na sir. So and like a somewhere like a something has happens when like some Ghana is some song is running. Okay, and some reel is like stuck in that. Then that time maybe you listens like Ray K, like this way they are you listens. So they again the technicians will taken out that CD, and then again that those have a really have seen that pen or pencils they put there, and then what to say, move their all the reels, and then again put in tape record tape, and they will again what play that songs. So that is obviously maybe have all have a listen that way. Thank you, table topic master.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Manoj. I actually took a lot of pain to find this image because I, during my childhood, was very inquisitive as to how these things work and used to do these things just to see how can a song be recorded in such tapes. So that was maybe the curious me at that point of time. Now moving on to our sixth speaker for today. We are left with Toastmaster Faisal and Toastmaster Shubham and Toastmaster Asil. So Toastmaster Faisal, you can go next.
Who can time me? Can someone time me or?
Oh, sure, I'll time you, no problem. So Please pick a number, Toastmaster Faisal.
I'll go with 4.
Okay. So this is so quite relatable, I believe, for Toastmaster Faisal. So this is an image of some of our childhood days, wherein our Master Ji used to punish us in certain fashions that is maybe now not allowed during these days. So over to you, Toastmaster Faisal, if you could just share some examples over this.
Oh my God, all these topics were much relatable. Whenever I see those pictures, oh yes, I have done this kind of activities, and I was having those things. Even in our school, when our teacher used to give us punishment, they used to call us, especially for, I'm talking about myself, he used to get, if Shahzade will do like this, then what will happen to others? So we used to get double punishment if we do something wrong. But it was rare that we get this kind of punishment. We were always like try to escape and try to mischief or something to avoid these kind of punishments from our teachers. We always try to bluff or do something that that may help us with a narrow escape. But it was great. Like we used to make fun of these things also. Whenever somebody got punished like this, we call it Ab Durga Banjao, Ab how many push-ups or something, what they call it, up down with, I don't know what they call it in English. It was really cherishable time we had. And I believe these generation will never have those memory in their whole lifetime. That was golden period. Those were. I wish if I can go with time machine in those time and I can have those time back again in my life. Really, those punishment and the way the teachers taught us, it was really different than these times. I really. And I want to speak on all those topics. When the tape was shown, I used to use my little finger to make that tape A side, B side, all those things. And we have torn many of the tapes. Thank you for reminding my childhood. Over to you, Mr. Toastmaster of the table topics.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Faisal. The reason I chose these topics was just to maybe go down to the memory lane, just maybe reminisce about these things, because somewhere or the other, we all share these things, maybe in some form or the other. Moving on, I can see Toastmaster Shubham. So Toastmaster Shubham, I'll just share my screen for you. Here it is. Please select a number out of the remaining 4. Okay, so this is one of the favorite games that we have had before the internet era arrived. And we can say you must have also been through this, maybe at least saw this. If you could just share some experience from your life, your journey. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Asankhe, for taking me back to the childhood days. I cannot recollect the game name exactly, but I have used this gadget, and I remember how frequently we used to take this when we travel in trains or wherever we want to go and keep it in handy. It was like a substitute for us for mobile back then, and we did not had much options there, so we were very happy in those 2-3 options. Like the more number of options which is available now on Play Store is giving us more confusion. So that gadget, like the gaming gadget for us, was easy to use, and from that we evaluated ourselves to PS stations, and then now we are on gaming platforms. So I'm not a big game buzz person, but yes, this is something I had used a lot. And I remember we like between the siblings, I, my elder sister, and younger brother, what we used to decide is that whosoever wins will get to play the next round. Otherwise, we'll swap it to the other person. So one gadget was shared between 3 of us, and we used to be very happy and peaceful in winning for it. So that's all I have from my side for that image. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Shubham. So I also never had maybe a personal video game like that. So I had to fight with my sibling just to make sure that I also get a chance over it. So moving on to the last speaker, the last member of the audience, the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Asil. If you want to are you there, Toastmaster Asil?
Yes, I was just drinking
Yeah,
some water. I would love to.
sure. Okay, so I'll just share my screen. We have 3 topics left, 6, 9, and 10.
Let's go with 9.
So Toastmaster Asil, this is a game that we used to play by on the roads in front of our homes with our neighbors, wherein we had to jump over these numbers. If you could just relate to some other game or this game from your personal experience in your journey, you could just share that example with us. Over to you.
First of all, I really like the images, nice places you've got here. And wow, I really wanted to try these games, and I did. I think that was when I was grade in kindergarten, but I had the opportunity as a child. You throw a bag and you hop. That was one of the childhood games I used to play. I also used to play with the ball. I tried to play basketball back in school, but I had trouble throwing it to the basket itself because I did not have experience and I was a bit short. I still did not go through my growth spurt, what you call it that. But now I play basketball really good. If I had the chance to play football, you'd see I do it really great. In our case, I do really well in basketball. There's so many games back in Kuwait I used to play, even here in arcade and the rides I ride. So many childhood games. Best game I still play till now is my PlayStation. When I look for excitement, I have so many games to play. I would love to invite you. I would go on, the list is very long, but too bad we only have a very short time, so I only give you limited access to my childhood memory. So thank you for the opportunity, table topic master, and back to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Asil. This was one game, and the other was equally important for me during my childhood days was cricket, gully cricket, that what we used to call in India. Every kid during their childhood days has played cricket in some form or the other. So that's it from my side. Thank you for everyone for participating and coming up
Can I
on.
have a minute, Toastmaster?
Yeah. Please, Toastmaster Chintan.
So you gave us a surprise. You made us all happy. Took us down to the memory lane. I request our presiding officer to select a number, and I want to see that same happiness from you, table topic master. You go for a topic which presiding officer selects a number with. Is it okay?
The reason I would maybe the essence of table
Presiding
topics.
Let's go for
presiding officer
that.
might give another topic if it is like that, just to have fun and enjoy the impromptu skill.
Sure.
You want me to give you another topic or you will go with yours?
So I already know the topics, Toastmaster Faisal, so it would not be fun. So it
Okay,
would not.
I'm giving you another topic. All right. Let's go with this.
So Toastmaster Faisal, you'll be sharing the screen.
Yes. I don't know how to make this in full screen. Let me try. Okay. I'm trying to make this in full screen.
No problem.
Anyways, so I'll just share just like this. Okay. The picture here in the right corner, Fruity with Shaktiman.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Faisal, for this. So,
Fruity and Shaktiman.
Fruity and Shaktiman. So yeah, growing up, Shaktiman, apart from some few other uh, uh, television, you can say, serials or kid shows that we used to have, Shaktiman our was every Indian's favorite superhero growing up till the time got we were apprised with the power of Avengers and Marvel and DC coming into picture. So yeah, definitely this is one thing. Apart from that, this Fruity and even a lot of other things like maybe even just going for maybe what this really makes me remind of is our childhood days. That's what my topic initially was, wherein how I used to go for ice creams, how I used to uh, urge my parents just to take me for a stroll late night in the evenings for an ice cream uh, after dinner every night. So I am a big ice cream fan, and still one thing that you'll always find in my refrigerator is a box full of ice cream, maybe a bunch of boxes full of ice cream, and that's about it. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Faisal.
We should apply this on all of table topic masters.
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That would be all from my end. And thank you so much for that, Toastmaster Chintan. Over to you, to the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Asil.
You might think I'm crazy, but you just made me crave chocolate ice cream right now. I know winter is approaching, but if only you knew how much I love ice cream. I'm just like the table topic master. Maybe I'll eat it in a warm room. That I've heard somewhere this is what Japanese do. They make the room warm and eat. What should they call it? Snow cone. Yeah, it's called a snow cone. Timer, are all participants qualified?
Yes, except one, but we can have the polls. Best table
Okay.
topics.
Okay, let's
Best
have the
table topics. Everyone can go and give their vote. Voting is your right. Everyone, all the participants here are requested to vote for the best table topics speaker. %. Two of them have not been voted.
Toastmaster Faisal,
Please
just to
vote.
mention, I have joined with 2 devices. Yeah.
Okay. Then it's okay. I cannot vote. It's okay. So I'm ending the poll. Over to you, Madam Toastmaster of the day.
Wow, being in this meeting made this place a bit warm. Topic master, nice showing the images. It was great. To me, I felt it was a journey in India. Maybe I'll add it to my visit. What country should I visit in my bucket list? Because I really love traveling. So let us move on to our final segment, who will be taken over by Toastmaster Tripti Kandahi. I hope I did not pronounce your name wrong. The screen is yours.
Thank you so much, Madam Toastmasters. I guess today's session has been an exemplary one, and the word of the day I gave totally, went with the feel. Without wasting any more time, I guess it's time for all of us to present our reports. So I'll begin with the prepared speech evaluations, starting with Toastmaster Shifali to present her report for the speaker, Toastmaster Ricky. Over to you.
Thank you very much. Trailblazer, a person who is the first to do something, an innovator. With every word you spoke, you proved it right. Today, my target speaker, Toastmaster Ray, proved that he is an exemplary leader with great leadership qualities. You were amazingly confident, full of zest and energy. And I especially loved the game of Dam Charades to start with, which was very unusual, and how it has had a very significant part in your life, leading you to take up leadership roles of cleaning your college campus or organizing functions in the college. Taking your friends to Chanakya and being persistent to meet your counselor speaks about a great leader in you. Toastmaster Ray, you spoke very well. Everything was very good about your speech, but then there are some recommendations which I would like to put forward, this being my privilege, and also to help you become a better speaker to take you to level bit higher. There are 3 P's of every speech. You must have heard this repeatedly, which says prepare, practice, and then present. Today, in your speech, I found only 2 P's very actively. First is your preparation. You prepared very well. You presented it very well. But somewhere I felt that you have not practiced your speech very well. The only thing which is a big no, something which is unaccepted on this platform, is keeping the script next to you. Even though we keep practicing, we feel that, we've done very good. Always try not to keep the script next to you, because subconsciously our eyes go to it, even if we are not reading. So I thought that was a little amiss. And also, another thing which one has to be very careful is the language. English is the prime language. If you're using Hindi words in your speech, you must make a very conscious effort to convert every word to English for the benefit of the audience here. Also, I would last recommendation is that try to induce few pauses, because when you speak in the same flow, the emotion does not change. These are a few recommendations. Overall, it was a great speech, very well articulated, and you reflected all qualities of a trailblazer. You spoke with humongous confidence, and yes, the genius in you is definitely 99% perspiration and 1% inspiration. I would like to make a twist. I'm totally inspired with your speech today. Thank you and congratulations on completing your project. Over to the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Shafali, for your evaluation. Moving on, let's call upon our second evaluator to give the feedback for our speaker, Toastmaster Sunil Kripla.
Yeah, thank you, Toastmaster Tripti. I know Sunil sir is not here, but we will share the video recording with him. My summary includes the format as sandwich, where I have incorporated some of the good practices for Toastmaster Sunil and some where the improvement can be made. Since this speech was given for the second time, I can appreciate that Toastmaster Sunil has implemented the previous feedback. His screen was properly aligned. His body gestures were well utilized. He had beautifully narrated his journey as a technician in Indian Oil Company, and he started off very early when I was a kid. He gave us the moment to recall 5th May 1993 in Mathura, UP. And after that, the couple of years became decades, and how his journey from technician to chief manager transformed, and his chest grows by 2 inches every time he thinks about it. The entire journey has been a great path for Toastmaster Sunil. And I felt the speech which he delivered was from the bottom of his heart. He was truly, truly feeling it and delivering it. His subtle smile was a witness for the same. He also mentioned that how do you think about it in the end to Toastmaster Asil? So the conclusion was a question for all of us to think about our journey. So it was very well written and then conveyed to us. But the biggest challenge in his speech was the background noise. The background noise had disrupted the flow of his delivery. we couldn't hear him properly on and off because of the disturbance. And his facial expressions were also changing because of those disturbances. I felt he could modulate his voice when he was talking about his uh, support system, his mom, his brother, his wife, his 3-year-old kid. So, how he could have done is that he could have changed his volume up and down and he could have delivered the speech. And he could have delivered the speech in a standing position so that we could all have seen him in a better way, because at times it was happening that we could partially see his hands. So all these are my recommendation and commendations for Toastmaster Sunil. And over to the G of the day, Toastmaster Tripti.
Thank you so much for the detailed evaluation. Before we go ahead with the polls, I would like to present my feedback for the speakers and the evaluators. Starting on with the first speaker of the day, Racer, I guess I've been a big fan of your speeches always. I always look forward to hear from you because it not only gives me a thing of pleasure, but yet again, I learn a lot from your experiences. The starting was really evolving with the voice modulation and the sound effects you were trying to give in the middle. That were great. And 4 takeaways probably I had from your speech were: leadership starts when you start taking up position. I guess that is something I really, really need to learn. And I guess Trailblazers is very, very close to my heart because the name of my initiative is Trailblazers. So I could clearly see my journey along with hearing yours, you know, when I started my startup and now where it is shaping up to. Again, as you said, you always learn and relearn during the journey, and the routine acts are very, very necessary, right? And how it is very important to delegate responsibility. And I would just use this platform to also urge you that I would love to have you mentoring me, probably teaching me all these points to inculcate in my routine. So that is something. I totally agree with Toastmaster Shifali when she presented her evaluation, saying that in case you would have practiced your speech, you would have known that it is exceeding the time. I guess that is the only thing because I really wanted you to be a part of the contest for the speeches, the poll. That is all for my evaluation from your end. Thank you so much. Moving on for your evaluator, Toastmaster Shifali. To begin with, ma'am, your smile is infectious. I always admire it. You followed the CRC approach as you mentioned the 3 Ps of a speech. Wonderful and constructive feedback. The only point of improvisation or my feedback would that you highlight the specific points, just as Toastmaster Shubham did, which were good, and the points of specific improvisation areas. That's all from my end. Thank you. Moving on to the second speaker of the day, Toastmaster Sunil. He's a great orator, as I always say, and his evaluator has covered almost all the points I wanted to say. Just I agree to the fact that the starting was very disturbing. Again, the background noise was making him distracted. He very well used the word of the day, his hand gestures, and he was trying to dramatize his journey, which was again something I really appreciate. I agree with the point that the point that he should stand and deliver his speech, and also the lighting should be fixed a bit because that was really distracting and not really soothing to the eyes of the audience. That's all. Next, we have a very esteemed Toastmaster, Toastmaster Shubham. I really admire the way she evaluates the speakers. She followed the CRC approach. She mentioned in detail the good points, summarized the speech really well, and mentioned specific points of improvisation, also with the points which caused disturbance to the speaker. So I guess very well done on that part. And with this, I would urge the timer to please cast the polls for the best evaluator of the day.
On your screen. No, don't do this. It's a tie. So, okay. Thank you. So everyone has voted, I guess. I'm closing the poll. Thank you.
Next, I would like to call upon my tag team for their detailed report, starting with the timer of the day.
All right. My report is on the screen. We had a great meeting today. Toastmaster PK Ray took 10 minutes and 24 seconds and 76 microseconds, which is under his buffer time. So he was qualified for the timing. Toastmaster Shefali, as his evaluator, took 3 minutes and 9 seconds. She was also qualified for the voting. Toastmaster Suril Kiplani took 7 minutes and 59 seconds, 7 microseconds, as he was not qualified for the voting. Toastmaster Shubham Gupta took 2 minutes, 33 seconds, 62 microseconds, and was qualified for the voting. For the table topics, Toastmaster Chintan took 2 minutes, 16 seconds. Toastmaster Tripti took 1 minute, 10 seconds. Tripti could have utilized more of her time and spoken for a little bit like more seconds. Toastmaster Shefali also took 1 minute and 58 seconds. Toastmaster PK Ray took 2 minutes 50 seconds and 27 microseconds. Toastmaster Manoj took 2 minutes 58 seconds. Manoj, kudos to you. You are improving day by day and you are utilizing your time very well. Toastmaster Faisal, I don't know who is this guy, 2 minutes 15 seconds. Toastmaster Shubham took 1 minute and 16 seconds. She could have taken more time to put more of her thoughts and utilize her time well. Toastmaster Asil Saeed took 1 minute 37 seconds. You can have the opportunity to speak at least for 2 minutes. Toastmaster Asankhya took 1 minute and 10 seconds. That's all from my side. Thank you, and over to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you so much. With this, I would also like to mention, I really apologize. I guess I'd written the timings of Racer's speech. I guess I had the lot of 8 minutes. I'm so sorry about it. So you were qualified and in time. Okay. Moving on, I would like to call upon the counter of the day to present his report.
Being a counter, hello. Being a counters, madam. Speaker wants first speaker, so that is Dr. PK Rasher. So he didn't use any overused words, no fillers words, and no filler sounds is there in their speeches, speaking their speeches. And Sunil sir is also same, no overused words, and there is no any filler sounds and words there. And in table topics, because madam, because I know I'm using like a being a counters, all table topics participants are doing it very well, but except me, I'm really honestly want to share these things. That is, I'm using like or some pauses that way. So I'm down in this table topics, but all participants are have done, and except maybe Toastmaster Shubham madam just one times use and Ashil ma'am is one times use but Mr. Ashank sir have made this type of this kind of like a table topic, no? So I totally blank. So I didn't over all marked. So always I listen their voice and that what you say, like that pictures. So that way I didn't mark full table topics. So that's
no worries. Thank you
from
so
our
much.
side.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Manoj. And with this, I would like to give you a big round of applause for your effort. I know that you have taken up this role for the very first time, but yet again, you have, tried to justify it to your best. Thank you so much. And kudos to you. Okay. Moving on, as the grammarian of the day, my report says that, yes, I would like to mention it very bluntly out there that the word of the day could have been used a bit more, by as in the word was not too difficult, which could not have been incorporated in the table topics or even in the speeches. Moving on, yes, Toastmaster Asankhya used a couple of sentences which were grammatically wrong. For example, it had to be random topics and not random the topics, right? And I would urge Toastmaster Manoj to focus on the formation of the sentences, which will really help him improvise his reports and speeches in the future. That's it. Thank you so much. Moving on, it's time to now discuss the report of table topics of the day. I guess this is one of the best table topic sessions I enjoyed. It was so beautiful to go back in that nostalgic days and hearing so many experiences for so many people out there. So for that, kudos to Toastmaster Sankhya for taking up such well-connected and topics which hit nostalgia to many people out there. There were so many realizations, so many life lessons coming our way. To start with, Toastmaster Chintan, I would like to sum up your table topic session as a smile for a smile. Wonderfully took out the session of the picture and passed the question to the TTM as what was his memory of that ice cream candy. Thank you so much. Next speaker was, I was the next speaker, so I would not be able to again evaluate myself. Moving on, it was Toastmaster Shefali. Toastmaster Shefali related her childhood days and gave away a life lesson, which was very well done. Again, Toastmaster Ray, he related, I guess that was something I could not think of, that a window handle could be related in so many ways, but yet again gave away a lesson and related to the today's scenario very well. Next was Toastmaster Manoj. As I've already said, please focus on the formation of the sentences and the usage. Apart from that, you tried to relate it very well with the marriage and the relatable scenes. Great effort. Next was Toastmaster Faisal. He was happily reliving his childhood days. And the only part that he was trying to mix the language Hindi and English, so I would appreciate that he would actually translate the words used in Hindi. Next was Toastmaster Shubham. As Toastmaster Faisal already mentioned, she could have utilized the time a bit more and give us a detailed insight into her experiences. But yet again, she mentioned her travel diaries with that video game. Very well done. Next was Toastmaster Asil, which really surprised me that I totally understand she's not from India, but the way she tried to relate with that picture, and she said that she would love to visit to India to relive all those games we have played in our childhood, was something really amazing. Moving on, I guess Toastmaster Chintan, I'll give it to you for this, that you made Toastmaster Asankhya do the last topic of the table topics, which was a mixture of Shaktiman and Fruity. I guess that I could relate to it very well, and he did a great job giving his insight on that experience. Thank you so much. Now it's time for me to evaluate my tag team. Well, sir, always, as I always say, you do your roles to your best capacity. You presented it very well and detailed reports, which will always help everyone to improvise and work on their timings. Toastmaster Manoj, I will suggest you to try and present a virtual report so that people know their points of improvisations. That's all. As the grammarian, I would not be able to evaluate myself. And now it's time to move on to the beginning of the meeting. The meeting could not begin on time. I guess all the role players, including me, joined a couple of minutes delayed, which will be noted, but I will suggest everyone joins 5 minutes prior to the meeting starts. Then, as the SAA, Toastmaster Manoj very happily opened the meeting and handed it over to the presiding officer, Toastmaster Faisal, who welcomed all the guests and happily passed on the virtual stage to Toastmasters of the day. Toastmaster Asil, I've always enjoyed your TMODs, honestly, but today I really felt that you could have started on a bit lighter mood, and the starting should have been powerful, which grabs the attention of the audience. I guess the topic you have chosen, right? Winters. Winters is something I guess we all would have been able to relate in various ways. Winters, the feel should be established. Probably you could have conversed with the audience a bit more, try to know their ideas and ideologies of winter season and how they relate to it. their memories, which would have really worked to establish the feel of the entire meeting, right? Your smile is something which grabs our attention always. So that is something I always learned from you, that while you do TMODs, you should have that big smile on your face so that you grab everybody's attention. Overall, a great meeting, guys. Thank you so much for being here today. Now it's time for our last polls, I guess. Best auxiliary role players.
On your screen.
I'll request everyone to cast their votes.
So during the voting is casted, can I say something to?
Yeah, sure.
Can I-
Please go ahead.
Yeah, so I generally do not speak into other clubs because it is not looking good, but you are taking everything so positively. So I want to say something. I want to talk to Toastmaster Manoj. Manoj, I can see that you are using so much and ums, and you have acknowledged that you are doing that. I have joined Toastmaster just a month back, and my report, my first R report was having all the R's, ums, and every filler words. The only thing which I would suggest you that in my 1 month I have done, that try to breathe deeper. When you breathe deeper, you give yourself some relaxation and you will get the automated pauses. In such way, you will improve upon your R's, ums, and longer pauses. So I am also just a beginner like you, and the second thing I have been doing is I am attending the sessions of different clubs as I am doing right now, and speaking to the topics whichever I come across, whether to go right or not, because Toastmaster is a family which is non-judgmental, and that's a great thing. So the first thing to improve upon is to identify what we are lacking, and you have identified it just like I did 1 month back. So just focus on the breathing, practice more, as evaluator Shefali mentioned, that practice, and you will be the seasoned Toastmaster in future. And sorry to take some more time.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Chintan, for this kind help and the gesture you made. Thank you so much. It really means a lot. Can we have the next poll, please? Best role player of the day.
On your screen. All right, we can proceed.
Thank you so much, everyone, for casting your votes. With this, I hand the stage back to the Madam Toastmasters of the day to announce the report. Toastmaster Asil, are you there?
Yes, I am here. This is an incredible meeting. And I just want you to know the reason I want to go with India I didn't mean the whole childhood memory. I just want to check it out because you guys have amazing things there. It doesn't have anything to do with table topic. That's all.
Okay, I'll request you to please announce the results for today.
Let's have best speaker. Congratulations, Toastmaster PK Ray, for being best speaker today.
I believe both of them are the best speakers. They're both the winners.
Best evaluator, Toastmaster Shefali. Congratulations. Best role player, Toastmaster Asankya. Indeed, one of the best table topics today we have witnessed. Thank you so much. Best auxiliary role player, I don't know who is this guy. Yes, congratulations.
Always taking away this and then always commenting. Who is this guy?
Best table topic speaker, again, indeed, Toastmaster Shefali Gupta. Congratulations for being best table topic speaker. And Asil, if you want to conclude your remarks, then we will get the feedback and close the meeting officially.
Yeah, let me tell you about my feedback real quickly. Again, once again, thank you to Mr. Said for inviting me. You are the most people who invite me to this club. I even found out about your club from you. So thanks for having me. Though I request that you ask me to take a role. It was 3 days before the meeting, so I had a very short time thinking about the theme. So if you could just make it a bit earlier, because I like to take my time thinking, making it really great. Maybe that's why Joe Evaluator thought it was simple. I did not have much to think. So thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Asil, for joining and participating every time. So from now on, I'm telling you, from now, every Sunday, 6:30 p.m., we are having our official meeting. So you are requested to take roles in each and every meeting. From now on, I'm telling you.
Okay,
Thank you so
I
much.
will try. I will join whenever I find the time, because most of the time I'm busy with my niece, but I will try to join when I find the time.
Great, great. Whenever you have time, most welcome. Just inform us that which role you would like to have, and you are most welcome in our club. Thank you so much. So let's have feedback quickly from Toastmaster Chintan. How was the meeting? How was your experience today?
It was more than what I expected. So kudos to entire team for conducting a wonderful session. And the highlight for me was the table topic session, because I'm going to be a table topic master for my home club. And I would take the tips from this table topics, because it gave so much happiness and make my day, make my Sunday better than what I expected. And kudos to everyone who gave the speeches, and all the role players were amazing. And that's it. I'm looking forward to attend more meetings of this club, and add me in the group of guests if you have, and who try to give my speech and get evaluated by the Toastmasters, seasoned Toastmasters like Toastmaster Shefali in future might be, if the time slot is there for me to speak. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for joining in and for the lovely words. You are most welcome in the club, and you can have speech slots and you can take participation in as a role player as well. You are most welcome. Anytime, keep attending our meetings and taking part into it. It will be an honor and esteemed pleasure for us. Toastmaster Shefali, your words, please.
Well, I fail to express my emotion every time I attend this session. Your club is just amazing, and you are one of the most wonderful hosts. And your members are amazing too. And today I have fallen totally heads over heels with your table topic master. And my takeaway is that I've cheated all of them. I've clicked a picture, so I'm going to use this topic somewhere. So apologies for that thing, but overall it was a great session, and I love to be a part of it in your future meetings. All the way best to all of you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, ma'am, for being a great support always.
And one thing which I always tell everyone behind your back, you all have a great president. He's a great guy and a great leader.
I will start blushing. It's a teamwork. My team, all credit goes to all the team who work, their effort and their contribution, especially you coming from Siliguri Queen team and helping us in conducting our meeting. Toastmaster Asankya, your words, please. Today you are the face of the meeting.
It's taken away the show.
Table topics, taken away the show.
So Toastmaster Faisal, the Nvezion team was the face of the meeting, and it always will be. So I have been there. I have said this previously as well in the past Nvezion meetings, that it is around 1 year back. Then Toastmaster Faisal initially said that he wanted to charter a club like this, and he wanted members who can be connected globally. So that was his idea, and coming it to fruition and seeing it today. So it's really good, and always would be there to participate whenever I can be there. Thank you so much,
Thank you so much, Asankya, for lovely words and being a great support to us from its inception. Toastmaster PK Ray, Prashant, Colonel. I think he's He's behind the camera. Can you hear us? All right, Toastmaster Shubham.
I had great time, Toastmaster Faisal. It's been always a pleasure to be with Nvezion Club. And your smile is so consistent that I keep
Oh my
telling
God,
everyone.
everybody is praising me a lot. I will keep some.
You can have a black kajal tikka.
Yes, here. All right, thank you so much for being supportive, and you are also one of the major pillar of Nvezion who's supporting always and helping us in all our meetings. Manoj, quickly, can we have few words from you and we close the meeting? Manoj.
Yes, sir. Sir, this is really wonderful this Sunday, because sir, lastly 2 months I didn't attend any one meeting. So maybe 2 months or maybe 2.5 months we'll meet in a Zoom. So that is good. And again we'll start uh, to do good for personal growth. Okay, sir. And uh, in these meetings, it's a really that is a table topics that is a good, that is a central point. And Mr. Sankh made this kind of a creative idea, that is a good. So thank you, Mr. Ashank, and everyone.
Great, Manoj. You are improving every day, and keep Chintan's suggestion in your mind. It was great tips, and practice, and keep participating. You will be a good speaker. If Toastmaster PKV is hearing us, we can have few words from him. If he is not there, then we can close. Toastmaster PKV, can you hear us? All right, I think he's not behind the camera. Thank you so much once again, everyone, and see you in our next meeting with full of energy, enthusiasm, and new learnings from each and everyone. Thank you so much. Have a nice time. Stay safe. Stay blessed. Bye-bye.
Wish me happy Navaratri.
Yes, happy Navratri.
Yes.
Bye-bye.